You know what? Speaking of, I loved what you said about the independent artists because one of the topics that I wanted to touch on is record labels because I feel like as an artist for the longest time, you were like the main goal was to catch a record label or even like catch a music manager. But I want to focus on record labels for this specific episode. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the evolution, and I want to talk about record labels' relationship with underground independent artists, especially nowadays, but maybe even through the 90s and 80s and stuff like that. Um, but actually, I wanted to ask you, do you think nowadays an artist needs a record label? Like, and not like an already famous art, like an underground artist, like an unknown artist with maybe like 1,000 followers or 2,000 followers, just pretty in the dark, except for the underground scene.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, it depends, right? I think that times have changed so much, and there's so much more opportunity out there with the streaming services and social media that it's not necessarily necessary the way to get those followers and fans and get your music out there. You don't necessarily need that record label, but it's still, especially the ones who are not the old fashioned ones, but the more underground ones, or the more new ones that have changed their ways to adjust to the modern age, and they can still mean a lot if you put that stamp, and you have these new channels to kind of promote. But is it necessary? No, I think we have a lot of examples nowadays of people who do it outside of any record label, or just create their own record label, basically.
Yeah. Also, like one very interesting thing that I discovered recently is that record labels nowadays, they wouldn't even consider you unless you have a substantial amount of followers already, which to me is crazy because especially nowadays, like if you have something like 50,000 to 100,000 followers, why do I even need you? Some people might say, oh, to reach bigger stages and blah, blah, blah. I know that this is still pretty much a monopoly, like bigger stages and stuff like that. However, I feel like when you reach a following of like 100,000 or something,
you're
like
already doing something right.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you just take one of these grassroots and underground venues and you hire them out and you put on your show, and people are going to come because when you reach that kind of followers, you're already at some sort
you
of
already have your fan base.
Exactly.
And you're finding in I want to say in the olden days, but